Based on your suggestions, I'm going to attempt to design a logo and animate it all in 30 minutes. So I took suggestions on my Instagram and on my YouTube community page, and I got so many awesome suggestions for some fake company names that I'm going to animate a logo for. Now, the true determining factor of whether a logo is good or not is whether it ends up on one of these lists. Clever logos with hidden meanings or hidden symbols. Always start with Spartan Golf Club. It's a staple. Clearly, best logo ever made. It doesn't matter if it's effective or if it's usable, but if it's clever and got hidden stuff inside, that's what people love. So that's what we're gonna attempt to do today. And we will be under extreme time pressure, so we might just have to cut a few corners here and there. Now, all of your suggestions were amazing. I've already chosen my favorite before I started, but these are some other great ones. Curl Up and Die Hair Salon, Oh Hi Marketing, in a Tommy Wiseau style, Mum Spaghetti, an authentic Italian food purveyor, and lots of rude ones that I certainly appreciate but cannot show on YouTube. But the one I've chosen is Cheapskate, and then they've put in parentheses, like a canary skate brand. So we've got a bit of a clever name, not too clever, but a little bit clever. And hopefully we can create a clever logo that's not too clever. Because we've got the three elements, we've got cheap, like a canary, because birds go cheap, skate, as in skateboards, and then cheapskate, meaning someone that's very cheap. So then we've got sort of budget discount theme in there. So we've got three elements to work with. So here is my plan. I'm going to try to super condense the whole logo designing process, and I'm going to try to split it up into 5 minutes of research, 15 minutes of design, and 10 minutes of animation. We might make up some time in the middle there, but that's what we're going in with. And the tool that I'll be using to pull in references and create a mood board is this video's sponsor, Millernote. Millernote is an amazing web app that allows you to organize your projects from the start to the end on interactive visual boards with a simple drag and drop interface. It's so useful in the pre-production phase for collecting research and reference for your motion design projects. You can choose from a bunch of templates to get started, and there's lots of variety depending on how you like to set up your boards. Of course, you can customize them to your heart's content, but the wild ride of creative project planning and pre-production doesn't stop there. Millernote's built-in commenting, sharing, and notifications make collaboration easy. You're in total control of who can edit, comment, and give feedback on your boards. You can also share a link to any board with no sign-up required to view, and download high-quality printable PDFs of any board. Millernote is definitely a tool I love to use. Okay, so I have set a timer. I'll put one up on the screen, and let's get started with some research. I'm gonna start by creating a bit of a brief. So what does this logo need to be? Must be slightly clever, represent budget skatewear, owner loves canaries, and is down with the kids. It's gotta be very cool. Okay, now let's get some reference. First, I need to figure out what a canary looks like. Okay, canary, classic bird. I'm going to grab one of these reference images, like this one. I'm gonna use the Millernote clipper over here to save that, so we can pull that into our mood board. I love this canary. This one's great. That's got a very, very cool hairstyle. Let's get some reference for, we are going to be cutting corners, so let's just have a look at what other skate logos exist. Okay, here's a bunch that I definitely all recognize. Let's add that. And then we can just drag them into our mood board. Okay, what I'm noticing is there is kind of two sort of themes of these skate brand logos, either sort of really geometric and simple, or they're like sort of cool and edgy and look like they're a band logo. So that's good to know. We'll try maybe both of those, but it also needs to be down with the kids. So let's put in cool skate. So that brings out, oh, these are some cool things. This is definitely what we want our logo to represent. Cool skater, yes. Look at this lad, save him. Order some budget skateboards. Oh, look at this one. Very cheap, no wheels. Perfect. All right, we do need to make some quick decisions. So let's choose some colors. Actually, I'm gonna get a color straight from this canary. I've got an extension that gives me a hex code for a color, so we'll use this. And here we've got a color palette, and I'll use this along with black and white. Okay, that's good. We've got all these shapes that we can reference, because we're probably gonna include a canary in the logo type, a couple of references for fonts, and the sort of feeling we want to invoke here. The research has cut into our design time, so I'm going to keep this up on my second monitor and then start sketching here in Photoshop. All right, I've got a big pencil brush that I'm just going to start sketching with. Okay, with a canary, we're probably going to include a canary illustration, so it's, I guess, roughly this shape. We're definitely going to have to simplify. Simplify. We don't have much time at all. That is looking very cute, very children's illustration-y. What if we make it a bit more edgier? Give it a cross eye, because canaries, you know, that's what they're for. Put them canary down the mind. They're meant to, when they die, tell you that something's up. How are we going to get a sort of skateboard into here, though? I mean, most of the skate logos don't really have skateboards in them, but what if we take an element like the trucks and see if they can sort of act as eyes for our canary? That looks great. It needs to be cheap. Oh, well, it has to have the cheap for the canary. Maybe like a musical note. That kind of looks like canary feet. We could give it, you know, so the canary's hanging on a little pole or something. Give it a little tail. That looks terrible. And we are drastically running out of time, so we are going to need to commit to something. We try to make a canary shape out of these. Maybe? Or how will this work? And then it's skateboarding. That's no good. This is harder than it looks. Apologies to whoever made that Spartan logo. You definitely did that in more than 30 minutes. Okay, time is definitely running out. We're gonna have to stick with this simplified canary. I'll fix up the mouth shape. What do we want? We need skateboarding in there. What if it's in a half pipe? Maybe its head sticking out. Maybe it's graffitied onto a half pipe. That looks okay. Let's get that on a new layer. I think we might have to go with that. Oh no, my shapes are terrible. So if it's sort of sticking out, we can cut into that shape. Make that dark. That kind of works. I don't think that reads as a half pipe though. Just looks like some shapes, which is kind of fine, but let's be a bit on the nose. Let's treat ourselves. Okay, let's maybe put it inside a skateboard. Is that too naff? And yeah, the skateboard's broken obviously because it's a very cheap skateboard. So that's, you know what you're getting when you go to cheap skates. Okay, that's looking pretty good. That looks, I can imagine someone has this sort of thing on a t-shirt. Give it some wheels. Maybe put a musical note on this side for the bird. That probably looks a bit too busy for a logo, but you know, let's zoom out so we can see it small. It could work. A lot of these skate logos are a bit busy, so that's okay. All right, I think we're gonna have to go with this one. We don't have much time. So I'm gonna jump into Illustrator to turn it into a vector. Okay, I'm just going to screenshot and paste that into Illustrator because that is very quick. Let's plot this down and draw over it. I will need to animate this, so I'll probably start separating the elements as I draw them, just to make it a bit easier. Probably a bit thicker than your average skateboard, but you know, it has to read clearly as a logo. I'm not so into this musical note. I don't know whether we're going to keep that, but no time to review my decisions. Okay, I think that's okay. Oh, we've got 15 minutes left. Okay, we're not too far away from our schedule. Let's scale this down. This could obviously do with a lot more tweaking, but that's not a luxury we have at the moment. We need some type, so let's just add the words cheapskate underneath. Luckily, each one has 5 characters each, so we can, you know, center them, keep them all the same size. And looking from all those references, it's very handy to have at the side here. All of them have just big, fat letters. So I'm just gonna go and scroll through here, see which fonts I have that are kind of big and thick. Okay, bungee regular, that's not bad. We could stick with that. Actually, I like this one. Let's stick with this. No time, no time to experiment, which is exactly what you should be doing when designing a logo, not like this. Okay, I could see this on a skate shop wall, on a skateboard. Should we put a period in there, a bit of punctuation? How about lowercase? No, let's go uppercase, no punctuation. Okay, I like this. We've got about 12 minutes left, so let's save this. Cannot save the document, unknown error. That's not what I need right now. Let's save as. Okay, crisis averted. Now let's go into After Effects where we're gonna get animating. And I've got all my plugins up and open now because normally I record without all my plugins visible. It's just to let you know, you don't need plugins for animating really, but this is gonna make things much faster. So what I'm gonna do, drag all of these shapes and use the plugin Overlord to just push them into After Effects. So that essentially copies and pastes them. So they're all separate shape layers. I can do the same with the font, I think. Excellent. Okay, now how are we gonna animate this? Text needs to appear on, probably cheap, then skate. Bird, the canary pops out of the skateboard, I guess. Maybe as cheap slides on, skateboard appears. Because ideally we want it going from blank screen to the full logo. Okay, let's do that. And if we get time, animate this musical note, which I don't think we do. Now I will be labeling my layers, but maybe afterwards when we have time. But you should always label your layers, always. Let's separate cheap skate into two layers. So we've got one for cheap and one for skate. Okay, let's animate these coming in with position. Cheap from the right, skate from the left. Apply some easing with flow. Ooh, that looks a bit too slick. Okay, maybe they don't move that far. I want them to blast in, make it look really fast. There, I think that's good. Let's apply that. Okay, what are all my layers? These ones are all my bird. Bird can be yellow for the canary. Oh, we didn't even add color. We didn't add color to our canary. Okay, let's do that. We can do that now. Let's copy this hex code. So bird doesn't come in till after skate. Okay, skateboard is all one thing. So I'm just gonna parent that to this layer 2. Now I do want the skateboard to react as the skateboard flies in. So let's add some position and rotation as it does that. Same easing. Okay, kind of looks like it kicks the board up. How much time we got left? We got 6 minutes. Oh, this is gonna be close. Okay, the bird, I just want it to pop out. The canary, not a bird, it's specific. Only canaries, cheap. And let's have this pop out with a matte. Mark its position there, move that down to the left, time that same with the letter, with the word skate. Will that work? Maybe it doesn't need to move that far. And I'm gonna matte this out with one of these layers. Okay, what layer is my skateboard? If these were labeled, I'd know them. Okay, I'm just gonna call that board. And then I'm gonna add the set matte effect to all of these canary layers using board 12. Okay, paste that. Okay, now it pops out but doesn't stick out here. Okay, so let's duplicate that board layer. I'm just gonna call that board matte and extend this out. But it's hidden, so you won't see it. But now we can change it to number 12 and it sticks out. Okay, paste that to all the other layers. All right, cheapskate. At this point, we don't get that stroke in the logo. So let's duplicate our board layer, stick that over the top of everything. Let's remove the fill. Okay, now I get the line over this edge. So let's make a mask over the right side. There we are, cheapskate. Okay, that works. How much time? 4 minutes. What a luxury. Hey, this is more time than I've gotten from some animation projects I've done, I can tell you that. Okay, do we want the music note to come out? Do we even keep it at all? Well, what would it look like? We'd have a beak opening. Let's try a little beak rotation. Let's move the anchor points. Rotating. Does that look like our bird is cheaping? No, not really. I don't think that looks good. Should we keep it anyway? Let's change the timing, put it back here. Cheap, skate, cheap. Okay, let's keep it. I'm just gonna have to adjust the path of this top beak. So let's animate that. So at least lines up with the head. Oh no, that looks awful. We're one keyframe out, that's okay. I've got these on hold keyframe, so it'll hold. Okay, that's not too bad. Cheap. Let's put a posterized time over this, knock it down to 12 frames per second. This is just on an adjustment layer, so the frame rate is low. Not going into as much detail as I normally would on a tutorial, but you can download this project file for free in the description, so you can take a deeper look if you need to. Yes, let's save this project. I kind of want the cheat to happen after the logo finishes moving, so let's delay that a bit. Cheap skate. How long have we got? 30 seconds. You know what? Let's spend that 30 seconds doing the most important thing. It's labeling our layers. Done. 2 layers left unnamed, but we've got some injury time, so I think we can fix those. Okay, 30 minutes, designed and animated a logo. We take a look at all of our reference here. Let's see if this is successful. Must be slightly clever. I think slightly is pushing it. Barely clever, we could use. Represents budget skatewear. It's kind of broken, so I guess that covers that. Owner loves canaries. He'll be stoked. We didn't get this canary haircut on there, which would have been fun, but the owner of the company should love that. Is down with the kids. I don't know whether this is down with the kids. It looks a bit maybe juvenile. Depends on how young these kids are. If it's based on this kid, he'd love it. It is a fair bit different than any of these skate brands. It isn't quite edgy enough to fit in with these ones that all look like new metal logos, but it's not quite simple and geometric enough to fit with these. So it's kind of in the middle. So I don't know whether the skaters are going to run out to buy this one. But for 30 minutes, this isn't bad. And I definitely think including a step with a reference does help, even though it seems like such a big portion of our time that we could have spent refining our logo. If I just went into Photoshop, I can guarantee you my canary would not have looked like an actual canary. And I wouldn't have had any of the real sort of insight into what other skate logos are doing, because I am not, as Miss Levine would say, a skater boy. But there you are, 30-minute logo design and animation. Thank you so much to Milano for sponsoring this video, and thank you even more for watching. If you'd like to learn animation and motion design techniques, I've got a playlist of some of the best tutorials on this channel for you to take a look at. I'll see you in the next one.